So, one quick time for you. We're looking at structure today, the structure of past simple and the structure of present perfect. This is like our first lesson when we start going into this. But the first thing we need to understand is the structure of it, so we can recognize, that's past simple, that's present perfect. Past simple for completed actions is generally subject and the verb in the past simple. So for example, I went to the shopping centre yesterday. The beautiful thing about past simple is if you change this subject to he, she or it, the main verb stays exactly the same, because there's only one verb in the past simple. There is one exception to that, and that's the verb to be. I was here yesterday, you were here yesterday. But apart from that one exception, are you, he, she, it, we or they, and just one verb in the past simple. Now when we come on to questions, we use the standard structure, question word, auxiliary verb, subject, main verb. And we just need to remember the auxiliary verb will always be did, always, in the past simple for questions. And the main verb will always be present simple first person. Of course, you've also got past simple with the verb to be, but I don't want to go into that right now, okay? Because there are a lot of videos on the verb to be on Facebook for this term. You can just look at all of those. Negative, I didn't go. Once again, we use the auxiliary verb do in the past and the main verb in the present simple. This is the basic structure of past simple, remembering that in the positive, we're always using the verb in the past simple, what some people refer to as the second column. Of course, we have passive as well. Kubla Khan met Marco Polo, it's active. Marco Polo, or he, was met by the emperor. So with passive, we've done a lot of this recently. We just have to add the verb to be in the right tense, and then of course this verb needs to become the past participle. Of course, in this instance, the past simple and the past participle are exactly the same, but sometimes they are different. So we just need to remember that. So that's the structure of past simple in general. And here's the structure of present perfect in general. Here's the question we use, where have you been? Question word, auxiliary verb, subject, main verb. Same structure as we use for all of our tenses except present simple and past simple with the verb to be. The difference is, when we look at the structure, we always use the subject, but we always use the auxiliary verb have or has. So here, I have been busy, I have worked in Brazil, he has worked, okay? Remembering that the subject, then the auxiliary verb have or has, and the main verb has to be the past participle. Once again, it might look like the past simple, but it doesn't always, it's not always. For regular verbs, they're always. For irregular verb, some of the time and sometimes not. So you need to learn the irregular verbs. Of course, negative, I haven't been busy. And of course, remember, although we use been a lot, there are tons of other verbs we can use. I have worked in Brazil, I have lived in the UK, he has lived in the UK, he has worked here. We can do the same with any old verb in the present perfect, but the next key is learning all about why we use present perfect, and that's what we'll come on to next week. In the passive, once again, a thief has stolen my car has been stolen by a thief. Once again, we've just added the verb to be, and we put the main verb in the past participle. Of course, it was already in the past participle, there was nothing more to do. Now, just very quickly, a few things we've learned about present perfect so far, which we're going to really learn over the next few weeks. Past simple's easy. We use past simple for completed actions. That's it. We only ever use past simple, we use past simple a lot only, sorry. We use past simple for all completed actions, and And the difference, what we learned today, was if you're dead, and if you've been dead for a long time, we tend to always use past simple. Of course, I use this example, oh, she has just died, because it happened very recently. The thing with present perfect is an action happens in the past, it's usually completed, but it has a real effect on the present moment. We learnt that one of the reasons we use present perfect is because an action started in the past and continues to the present moment. But a lot of the time, we'll find that the action has completed in the past, but it has a real effect on this moment. And that's what we're going to go into next week. More about the reasons for using present perfect.